Hi, it's Cynthia from Knitting Central, and today we're going to teach you how to fix a drop stitch. I think this is a big problem with knitting. People drop their stitch and they think they either have to rip the whole thing out, which you do not, or they don't know how to fix it and they don't know where to get help. So with all the rest of our videos, this is one that we feel is very important, and we are going to teach you any time of day and night how to fix your drop stitch. I'm going to show you two swatches. One will be a stockinette swatch, so to show you how to pick up the stitches from a knitted perspective, and then I'm also going to do a seed swatch that will show you how to pick it up from the knit side as well as the purl side, and also as you're moving from stitches back and forth, how to transition from one to the other. So let's get started. Now let's pick up our knitting and knit to the place where the drop stitch is laying. So it's about 4 stitches in this case, and here we are. So I want you to lay down your garment on a flat surface, and now we're going to take a crochet hook. I happen to love this crochet hook. It's small. It's the perfect size for picking up pretty much almost any stitch. It fits in any tool bag, and I happen to keep one in my change purse, but that's me. I love to have one around at all times. You never know, even when you're wearing a regular garment, that you get a little snag. You need a little crochet hook to push it back into place. So this is a very, very handy tool to have around. So I'm going to place the crochet hook inside the stitch, and I'm going to remove, in this case, the thread, the yarn, or whatever you have that's holding it. Now let's for a second refer back to our first knitting video where we explained that a stitch was a loop within a loop. And that is a very important concept to just keep in mind when we're working this drop stitch. Pick up your garment and notice that there are these ladders, we call them ladders in knitting, or rungs, that are lying across in the middle of the 2 completed stitches. And we're going to make our loop within a loop by using our existing drop stitch and those ladders. And what you really want to be careful of is to separate them if you need to, because sometimes they're crossed, and make sure that they are in the proper order. That is very, very important. Take your crochet hook and go underneath the first ladder. And however you need to, if you want to use your fingers as a guide, pull it through the drop stitch, creating a loop within a loop. Now you have one more ladder, and let me show that to you. Here's your one more ladder that you need to go under. So you're going to take your crochet hook again, and you're going to go under that ladder, and you're going to pull it through the stitch. And see, got a little extra there. Pull it through the stitch. Now you have all of your picked up stitches ready, and you need to now place this stitch on your needle. So let's review how we do that. I'm going to put it on there just to show you, but I'm going to remove it and then do it again. Here is your stitch. Now we have moved it all the way up to its proper position. I'm going to take it off for 1 second just to review with you the construction of a stitch. There is a left side, here is the hole, and there is a right side. You must remember, when you put this stitch back on the needle, you want to put it on the needle with the right side on the front of your needle. I'm going to do that one more time. When you have taken your crochet hook and brought it all the way up to the proper row, and you need to now place it on your needle, remember there is a left side and a right side, and you want to make sure the right side is on the needle. And now you have brought it all the way back up, and you will just continue your knitting. No more drop stitches. Let me show you that you will not even know that this happened. It's very, very smooth. We'll just examine this row when it's completed. And here we go. Voila! we're going to drop down a couple of stitches. Look how I'm pulling them out, and it truly shows that knitting is a loop within a loop. And you're going to notice, which is really interesting, that when you do a purl stitch, the ladder tends to hang forward and in front. And the knit stitch, the ladder hangs in back. So that's also a good clue for you what stitch you should be working on, if it's a knit stitch or a purl stitch. So we're going to put our crochet hook face down, and we're going to come from the back of the stitch, and we're going to latch on to that ladder, and we're just going to pull it right through to the back. And we're going to fit, that's one stitch fixed, and that was the purl stitch. We still have our crochet hook with the stitch, and this time we're going to do what we did on the stockinette swatch. The hook head is going to be facing up. We're going to go under the ladder, and use your hand if you like to help you, and we're going to pull it right through the stitch. And now everything is fixed, but we still need to get it back on the needle. So as we reviewed before, pinch your stitch, recognize the left side from the right side, and the right side is going to go on the front of the needle. And look at that, you will never have known that there was a drop stitch. So always remember that when you're picking up a knit stitch, it's going underneath and pulling through, and when you're picking up a purl stitch, your head is facing down, you're coming from the back and pulling back.